Well, anyway, so rumor has it, are you doing a new show with the Gingrich, Dane Gingrich?
Yeah, we've been talking about it. We've been talking about it recently as well, and trying to figure out the timing of it. It's been pushed off a little bit just because of the launch of the pickleball school coming up, and trying to keep priorities in line. But yeah, we're talking about doing a podcast or something like that. I'm guessing in the next few months something will happen. But I enjoy just talking with him, and he loves the game, and I think we have good camaraderie as far as talking about pickleball. So something will probably appear in the
Okay.
next few months. Yeah.
Does he coach you?
He does. Yeah, I've actually gotten coaching from him for like probably the better part of the last, gosh, maybe a year, maybe 10 months. I reached out to him a long time
Interesting.
ago.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been great. Yeah, I reached out to him about 10 months ago. I just believe in coaching so much. I grew up being coached in basketball and then coaching others, and I there's not that many good coaches or coaches in general, especially for a pro player.
Hmm.
There's not that many people to reach out to. So like most of the guys in my group, we just got better together by talking on the phone for hours every night. Like, hey, should we drop or should we drive? What do you think? These type of conversations. But there's not a lot of people to give you a second set of eyes, and that's a really valuable thing. So I reached out to him a while ago, and then now we meet every single week, and usually twice a week, and go over game film and stuff from previous tournaments, and just talk through different things. And it's been really valuable. I mean, like I said, I love the process of that. It's fun for me. So like getting to watch or figure things out is a really fun thing, and that obviously helps with the content too, because I'm always just thinking about things for myself. And like you has probably figured this out as well, or do this as well with your stuff. But like you just think about something for yourself, and you realize, oh, that's actually really valuable at a 4.0 level too. Maybe
Hmm.
articulated slightly different, or maybe just at a more basic level. But the principles that the pros use in their matches are the same principles that apply to the most beginner player. So like yeah, so it's been a good thing with him.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's something that, a lot of people are reluctant coming into the sport to try and get coaching, whether it's an ego, like I don't need a coach for pickleball or what, but you do. Here's the thing. Like, no matter
Yeah,
how analytical, or I think I'm as analytical and have as good of understanding of this game as anybody. And I have a coach. I work Sincola, and I work together. He gives me lessons with some. We haven't done it as much as I would have liked recently, just because of schedules. But like with some regularity, he gives me lessons, and like you don't always like a second set of eyes is so unbelievably valuable, and that's as somebody that knows the game at the most detailed and intricate level. And I also have a statistical background,
yeah,
and am a numbers guy. Like I can look at my own game
yeah,
with and kind of remove my ego from it to see what I need to get better at, but I still need that second set of eyes. And so,
yeah.
one of the biggest struggles is like people coming into this sport that have a little bit of an ego about it and think they don't need a coach for pickleball. But the absolute most valuable time to have a coach is going to be those first few times that you're playing. It's unbelievable how quickly you can learn bad habits in this sport.
Yeah, then you
Like,
then you have to,
I
then you have
do
to unlearn those things too, which is so hard.
exactly. And everything that you do, if you don't ever consciously try to unlearn something, it's stuck and getting ingrained with you every single time. Something that I see if we're talking coach to coach is like people who come in, they just naturally sit really heavily on the backhand for
Yeah,
whatever reason. And we can argue about 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 10:30, whatever. We all kind of know that the right ready position is at 9,
yeah,
right? But and also not down low,
yeah,
like I think, or not down too low.
yeah.
But people come in and they do what might feel natural, because early on you do hit the majority of shots with your backhand, right? You might as well wait for your backhand. It kind of makes sense when you first start,
Yeah.
until you get that first person that you play against that can actually aim their shots,
Right.
and then you're kind of cooked, right? And then they aim everything over at your forehand.
Yeah.
So like the absolute best time to get your coaching is when you're climbing up the ranks, beginner 3.0, 3.5.
Yeah.
Then you work on more technical, more advanced stuff, and your cadence of coaching might be reduced.
Yeah.
But
Oh, it's so good. It made me think this. I was playing this morning with my buddy Zach Silvernail, who's a part of the pickleball school. He's one of the trainers, and so
mhm,
he's another guy. Like so, Dane and I meet every week, but Zach has actually started watching some of my film as well. And he was there when I first played pickleball ever. We've been close friends for 3 years. He's a really good player. And this morning we were playing, and I was realizing he was just like not hitting his fourths like with that much power. He was just kind of like they were driving at him, and he was just basically giving them an easy fifth. And I was like, Zach, just like give it a little more, dude. And he's like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. It just like it had gone out of his mind for the last two sessions that we played. So for the rest of the session, after I mentioned it in the first 10 minutes, he starts just punching his fourths back to the baseline. And all of a sudden, he's a completely different player applying a completely different amount of pressure. And I think that's for Zach to me and from Dane to me, it's like, to your point, it's there's just so many blind spots in our own games that we don't see. And if you're not like watching your own film or you're not having someone actually look at your play, you're just not going to get it as good as fast. And that's kind of the thing. It's like, well, how good do you want to get, and what timeline do you want to get there? And
Mhm.
if the answer is really good immediately, you probably you probably need some coaching and stuff.
Okay, so Proton pulled a fast one on me. They invited us and a bunch of other creators out to their headquarters in Phoenix, Arizona. I played with the Proton that day. That was maybe like 2 months ago, and I have not stopped playing with it since. So I've obviously tried a ton of paddles. The Proton, to me, it's just different. They say a lot about the durability, the fact that like Andre Deescu was using it for like 3 months in a row, which is unheard of, especially for pros who are changing their paddles like every day. But you just don't have to replace these things. The longevity, the grit, the structure of the paddle, it just holds up. They have crazy pop, insane control. So Proton seems to be one of those brands that came out of nowhere in the past year, and now they're one of the most popular paddles, selling out constantly. I just mentioned that Andre Deescu plays with them, but Caitlin Christian, Donald Young, Travis Rettenmeyer, CJ Klinger, the list goes on. All these pros are dominating the courts with paddles that leverage carbon fiber technology from baseball bats for exceptional sound and spin. Following the quick sellout of their Series 1, Proton's Series 2 paddles are now on the scene, claiming to be the softest on the market, providing top-notch control and great feel, winning a lot of medals at PPA events at the 3.0 and 4.0 level. Find Proton paddles exclusively through Pickleball Central. Use our code, THEDINK, to save $25 on your Proton paddle from pickleballcentral.com. That's all caps THEDINK for $25 off. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, rather had